People are tired of having an agenda crammed down their throats. They're tired of having an agenda shoved in front of their kids. I mean, I remember my son's 14 now. I can't keep him in books, but I can remember him being really young 15 years ago and seeing kids' books talking about the redistribution of fins and make sure that you don't have more than anybody else and these all these ideas. And I was like, what is going on with books? So I think we're going to see less drive towards the woke agenda and more drive towards good conservative ideals.
Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, and today, we got a little bit of a celebration going on here. I am so pleased to share with you the work of our community and how they're taking back our culture. Now, instead of watching from afar and despairing and complaining about the state of our world, many fellow Turley talkers are out there becoming courageous patriots, and they've decided to make a change, to become proactive in saving our nation. For many of them, they're taking that opportunity to actually fulfill a lifelong dream. Now, one of the areas of outrage that patriots are pushing back against is the incredibly woke book publishing industry, right? Mainstream publishing houses, they're basically publishing almost exclusively authors with, quote, elevated identities. In other words, woke identities, right? Transgender, black, female, victim, victim, victim. And ironically, despite the push by publishers, those books are failing, and they are failing bigly. Recently, one publisher bought transgender actor Elliot Page's memoir for $3 million, and it ended up selling fewer than 68,000 copies. And then, of course, there's Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, right? And their woke saga, penned by their friend, ironically. It only sold 9,000 copies in its first week in America. I mean, it was an absolute catastrophe. Patriots have had enough. We want to revive publishing houses that publish works based on quality and merit, not to fulfill some silly DEI quota. Well, gang, that is exactly what Turley Talkers are doing as we speak. They are bringing back great American literature. I know the feeling very deeply of having a story to tell, and for years and years wanting to have someone come by my side, believe in me, and help me put my thoughts down on paper and get it published and widely distributed for all to see. And here, gang, I want to show you what Turley Talkers are doing here. These are all books. Let me get another one. I've got a bunch of them here. All books recently published by your fellow Turley Talkers. They are bringing back conservative voices to the marketplace, and they have a publisher dedicated to helping them do just that, and she's with us today. Joanna Hunt is the founder of Silversmith Press, a conservative patriot publishing house, and she's on the front lines of getting patriots published and getting your voice heard throughout the world. So, Joanna, welcome. Great to see you again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Turley. It is my great joy and honor to be here and to have worked with so many of your amazing followers.
These guys are, I couldn't believe when I got this in the mail. I can't help but get a little teary eyed when I see, because I know all the work that goes into publishing a book, but I also know the amazing sense of satisfaction and achievement when you hold it in your hand for the first time. I think I've seen you on some Facebook. You'll film some of your clients the first time they open a book, and just the excitement there.
Yes, no, it is an amazing moment. And a lot of times, by the time people come to me, they've had this nagging in their hearts for 10, 20, sometimes even 30 years. I had one entire group where all of them had been wanting to write a book for 20 years. And you feel like, I always ask the question, if you decide not to write a book, how would that feel to you? And most times they say, I would feel like a failure. I would have failed my higher purpose. I would have failed God. I would have failed my fellow man. And I would not be able to live with myself. It would be my one regret. And so most people aren't doing that because they don't know how, they don't know where to start. It feels overwhelming. And so that's where we come in and grab them by the hand and take them in through the process.
And you finish it, and that's the beauty of it right there. I mean, let me ask you just how the industry is going. I mean, what's it like publishing straight white men? It can't be very successful, not according to other publishing houses, right?
Well, there are those out there who would want us to believe that the conservative voice is being marginalized, but anyone who uses their power of observation, which is scientific, can see that the conservative films, the conservative avenues are really growing the most because people are just tired of being censored. And so,
Yeah,
if I've had people come to me say, I could not find before I came to you. I couldn't find a publisher. I couldn't find an agent because they have these disclaimers. We only want XYZ, extreme
right,
viewpoint.
right,
And so people who just have a good, solid, clean, inspiring, amazing message or story, they don't know where to go. And
right.
that's where I'm saying, come
You
here.
got it. Silversmith, that's it, guys. It's future publishing. I mean, speaking of, I mean, you're on the front lines of it. What's your perspective on the future publishing industry if they continue to go down this destructive DEI path?
Yeah, well, we're starting to see, the book industry is a multi-billion dollar industry, but we're starting to see with the top five publishers a little bit of decline. People are
Mhm.
tired of having an agenda crammed down their throats. They're tired of having an agenda shoved in front of their kids. I mean, I remember my son's 14 now. I can't keep him in books, but I can remember him being really young 15 years ago and seeing, you know, kids books talking about the redistribution of fins and make sure that you don't have more than anybody else and these all these ideas, and I was like, what is going on with books? So I think we're going to see less drive towards the woke agenda and more drive towards good conservative ideals like we used to have when reading was fun and inspiring and motivating. One of the things I love most about a book is that someone has taken their entire life's learning and
Yeah,
wisdom and experience,
yeah,
and they've taken an idea and they've
yeah,
distilled it down into a book
yeah,
that they will transfer to someone to be able to have a similar transformational experience
yeah,
in one setting. You can learn
yeah,
what somebody learned over a lifetime. So
yeah,
that's where we're
yeah,
headed.
yeah, yeah. It's so neat you say that. I mean, that's in academia, that was always the amazing thing for me is having to done a PhD myself. I mean, here I am reading books that took people 3 to 6 years to write 12 hours a day in a library and so forth. And here I can read it in a few hours. I mean, it's amazing. And I could do that book after book after book. The amount of accumulating knowledge and life experiences is just it's astronomical what we have. But that does raise a question. Why don't if things are clearly moving in our direction, publishing wise, why don't more conservatives write books?
You know what? That's a really good question. And a lot of them don't want to go down a path where somebody's going to tell them what to say, tell them what to think.
Right.
If you go to a traditional publisher, A, they want to make sure you have a massive audience, and B, if they pay for it, they're controlling the message.
Right.
And so I
Right.
think that's where people shrink back. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't necessarily want to self-publish because, there's issues with self-publishing. If you
Sure.
David Goggins is lamenting being on Amazon only because more than 50% of his copies are bootlegged copies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
people want
Yeah.
options. They want their material protected, and that's where someone like Silversmith Press and what I do can enter that space and provide a solution.
Well, let's look at that solution like tangibly, shall we? Tell us a bit about some of these books I've got here. You sent me just this wonderful, wonderful box of books. What do you got there? Which one do you want to talk about
Yes.
first? These are
Well,
all Turley talkers, gang. These are all Turley talkers here.
absolutely. These are people. We started this program, I think, just about a year ago. And these are all people who have come with an idea. Some of them were in different stages. Some of them hadn't started. Some of them were down the road and just came through the program and made their writing so much better. So I'm going to start with this one. I Can, I Have, I Will by Cassidy Glow Novak. And she has an incredible story of overcoming, almost died, had traumatic brain injury.
Oh my.
And then, Dr. Turley, there are some people that just kind of have extra adversity. She had extra adversity. And so
Right.
she tells her story from survival to her marriage almost breaking up
Mm,
to,
mm.
physical illness and all kinds of things. So this is just the message of hope for someone who's just going through a difficult time. I can, I have, I will. Blooming through life's greatest tragedies. And that's what she's done. She's just continued to bloom until she brought her message forward.
Wow.
And then I love this one by Janet Mackey, Time and Tides. Janet's actually about to put out her second book. She had a winery in Pennsylvania. So, this first book is the story of walking with her husband through a very difficult, fatal illness. And it's kind
Mm.
of journal style. So, anyone who's had that lasting love, who's maybe had to go through some hardship, go through a medical diagnosis. She kind of walks you through the ups and downs. The subtitle is so beautiful. One man's battle for survival told through the eyes of his wife. And so it's just
Wow.
a beautiful, connected love story. And I think you have this one here, the Ravenwood Institute.
I do.
Yes, written by Rory McDermott. She is a Gold Star military surviving young lady, which means her father has passed. But she has a passion to help other young people overcome adversity. So she writes fiction. And so all of her characters walk through that adversity and come to a place of overcoming, which is what she's doing. And I love all the fiction work coming to us.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. I was so excited about that. That's so neat. Yeah.
Yes. So many clever creatives. This one, Mercury Snow, which I don't even want to tell you too much about it, but this was by Taylor Gray. Just a fun fiction story, a little bit of romance, a little bit aliens, and a whole lot of fun trying
What
to
more do
save
you
the
need,
world.
right?
That's right. And then, I think you probably have this one over there, Your Child's Best Teacher.
Oh, yeah, I got that one. Oh, this is a homeschooling one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. So Craig Harrison, his background is as an engineer, very, very highly educated. And in his family, they decided that it was best for him to take the proactive role as the homeschool parent for their two boys, which we're seeing nowadays with so much flexibility in the workforce. Sometimes mom's
Right,
doing it, sometimes
right,
dad's doing it.
right.
So this is a perspective from a homeschool dad. The book is for any kind of family that is homeschooling or is interested in homeschooling. Just really, really well done. And Dr. Turley, engineers know how to lay out material in a very methodical way.
Very sequential, that's for sure.
So this is just a fantastic read for anyone considering homeschooling. I really had a good time working with Craig on that. And then, another, it's like they're all my babies. I
Yeah,
can't
I
pick
know which one
every
it's like the
person.
Christmas gifts, which are here, I'll pick one. Do you have an Animals of the Bible?
Oh, yes. And so Maria came to me and she said, I have looked for just good ABC books, and it's a little surprising how
Look at these
the art is not
pictures.
so engaging. But yeah, show some of those pictures up. Aren't those adorable?
They're incredible.
I mean,
Again, the writing, the illustration, wow.
super fun and a super fun
Wow.
way to introduce your child to animals, to scriptures that are maybe not common to some of the other books. But we just had so much fun with this. I mean, look at these little animals peeking out at
Oh,
you
they're
on cover.
incredible. They're
Kids
absolutely incredible.
kids will love this. This makes a great gift book too if you have family members that maybe you want to introduce some scriptural concepts. This is super, super fun.
How about this one? An, atheist drug dealer and a rabbi.
Yes. And they're all the same person. Ira Brower, who is a rabbi, he has such an amazing story. And what I love, the way this is teed up, he has stories from his ancestors, really going back to the Holocaust and how they came to America and escaped. Some of the things that were going on back then. So I always say this is my Breaking Bad story goes to church, right? And so
Right. Right, right,
he
right.
tells
I
an
love it.
incredible story. Again, just a really intelligent man. raised in New York, and then, of course, meets a Southern girl from Alabama, Gloria. And so you have this New York Jew and this Southern Baptist, and you can only imagine how that goes down. But via Colorado and a whole lot of partying. But they are
Wow.
precious, precious people. So it's a fantastic story of just the ups and downs of life, a spiritual journey, an intellectual journey, and coming through to the other side. So I highly recommend this one as well.
If you can, I mean, I'm just loving. Can you give us one more? Can you just
Yes.
yeah, give us one more. One or maybe even two more. Why not?
Okay.
This is great.
Okay. We could go on all day. That's
I
part
know,
of
I
the
know.
problem.
This is amazing. Yeah.
Well, so this one is The
Oh,
Great Deep
yeah.
by Shirley Anderson. She lives
Yeah.
in Hawaii, and she has just it's where science and scripture collides. So she
Wow.
has dug in on all of those topics about the world. She talks about a lot of things that maybe we don't always talk about in church, and she's just really dug into them in a really methodical way. And so if you're the kind of person where you have a lot of questions about the world and about maybe things that you don't hear covered regularly, you can dig into these with
This is
her.
neat. This is
Yeah, it
really
is.
cool.
And
Wow.
again, it's some things we don't have answers for, and we won't have answers for on this side of eternity. But it sure is fun to talk about them and explore them,
That's for
and
sure.
ask the questions why. Sometimes we don't get the opportunity to ask the question why in church, but we can ask it
Yeah.
here, and we can ask it. With a book, we can sit down and just kind of explore some of these open-ended topics that are so fun. So that's a great book that Shirley did for us. And then the last one I want to talk about is Tainted. This is my
Yes.
personal account of the Canadian blood disaster. So
Mm.
yeah, this is a heavy one. Back in the 80s, the good old US of A sold blood to Canada that came from prisoners in the
Yeah.
US, and that blood was not tested. And so
Yeah.
a lot of people got a lot of diseases. It was a huge scandal in the 80s. So this woman, who is a huge follower of yours, Leslie Sharp, is one of the ones who broke that story and who
Wow.
brought it to light and changed the whole policy there. So she's a go getter, and we were so honored to help her get her story out into the world. So I would encourage y'all to get that. It's just nowadays we realize that things aren't real legit all the time in the
Mhm.
medical
Yeah, that's we know now. Yeah, that's for sure.
industry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had
Understatement.
rose-colored glasses back in the '80s or so. Yeah, I mean, we had a reprieve, I guess, with Reagan, but yeah, things falling apart. Now we definitely see how those in power can be, yes, can be very evil
A
in
little
many respects.
corrupt, and there's
Yeah, just a little corrupt. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
so many good people out there that just need a little bit of truth to help them make some good decisions.
Oh, I love that. That's perfectly put. I'm thinking literally off the cuff here, but just a few more books. I mean, we could have our own like Turley Talkers book festival. I mean, with you got. I mean, we'll do like a Silversmith Press Turley Talkers book festival, but bring everybody out. They could share their books. I mean, we had a little bit of that when we were out when I was out in Waco and we saw each other, and you had your book table up, and we had a bunch of Turley Talkers showing their books. It was amazing. I don't know. I think that would be a wonderful expression of culture making. That would be so cool.
Well, we're not too far from doing that. We can
Yeah.
absolutely have the Turley Talks Conservative Book Fair. Don't hold us to it. We'll have to schedule
Yeah,
it.
this is
But
off the cuff. That's
don't send us
right.
emails right now today. We'll keep you posted. But it really is an incredible work that people are doing, and they come to me and they say, "We're so grateful
Yeah.
that we have a place
Yeah.
to let our voice be heard, let our
Yeah.
story out." As long as you have breath, you have a purpose. And right now, the only thing that is needed for evil to prevail is for good men and women to do nothing. And so
Nothing.
that's
Right.
why we have to know that each voice makes a difference, because when we come together, that's when we have impact.
That's for sure. Absolutely. We create community and community creates culture. All right. So I know there's a bunch of people there going, this is it. I've been looking for this for like all my life, quite literally. No Phil Collins, ba-dum, 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 drumming there. But if somebody wants to publish their book with you, what can they do?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have a landing page for you to get some more information that gives you kind of an overview of what we're doing. We have an awesome partnership with Turley Talks I'm super excited about. So that link is publishandgo.com/Turley Talks, publishandgo.com/Turley Talks. And when you get there, just take a look at all of that information, and then we can schedule a call to discuss your project. I have been told over and over and over that we don't charge enough for what we offer, but
Mm.
I'm okay with that. You might go to other places and spend 20, 30, even 40 or $50,000 to get the
Yeah.
value
Yeah,
of
actually, yeah,
what we are bringing, but we've
easily.
lowered those barriers to entry. Of course, through the partnership with Dr. Turley, we're able to walk you from the writing process, full service publishing. Our publishing company has the same distributor that supports the top 5 publishers, so we can get you everywhere books are sold, which is
Wow.
awesome. And then we do have a wonderful marketing support option in working with Dr. Turley. So we can go over all of that. But yeah, you got to start by going to that link,
That's
publishandgo.com
it.
slash Turley Talks.
Yeah, that's right. You could change your life. You're changing your life is just one click away. Isn't that amazing?
That's
So
right.
I heard one stat, Joanna. You probably know more specifically that like 80% of people have always wanted to write a book, but like less than 1% do, or something like that. Do you what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And so it's the action takers. Like you have to get
yeah,
started.
sure,
And then it really makes a difference when you have a plan and a guide. One of the things I do when I'm in with a group, I make them say, writing a book is easy. And
yeah,
everybody goes, because we tell ourselves over and over, it's hard, I can't do it, it takes too long, I have to shut my life down. You don't. This
right.
program is designed to fit in seamlessly with very busy professionals. I work with CEOs, I work with doctors, I work with moms of 5 children. I've published two
Yep.
mothers of triplets. And so if they can get a book done, you can too. And I'll show you how.
Absolutely. And then one of the things that I've been doing, gang, if you don't know, is every time Joanna sends me some books, I put them right back there. I put them right back on the mantle there for everybody to see. So it's my honor because you guys work so hard, and this is just so awesome, gang. I could not recommend Joanna and Silversmith Press more. I wish I knew Joanna back when I first started writing my books. If this is a dream of yours, click on that link below right now. Schedule a call with Joanna. She's the real deal. Look what she's done. I mean, again, this is not preaching, as it were. This is showing. This is demonstrating. She's the real deal, and you could just see what she's done with members of our Turley Talkers community. We're really together bringing back great American literature, free from DEI quotas or radical agendas. So just click on the link in the description below to book a call with Joanna today. I know she'd love to talk with you and bring. I mean, just imagine what you two can do together to bring your vision to life in a book that will literally last forever. And I can't wait to feature your book on this channel and on that mantle. So keep up the great work, Joanna. Let's talk soon.
Thank you, Dr. Turley. You as well.